What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I am back with my all new review, very late one, of Love and Marriage Huntsville. If I sound stuffy, it's because my sinuses is acting up. But let's get into this, child, because this annoyed me. We are back at the dinner table where Stormy wants Melody to state where she stands in regards to how her fans do the most, right? Because of what Stormy has experienced. But Melody said, I don't have to say shit. Because at the end of the day, this is the platform we've all agreed to be a part of. There will be a lot of people who like us, and there will be a lot of people who don't like us. Melody mentions her own hate fan club, okay? Melody has people who do not like her. She's had DMs from people that she's blocked, and pretty much have came with the conclusion. Majority of the people who come inside my comment section who tell me that they don't like me are pretty much a part of y'all fan bases, knowing that everybody on this cast have different fan bases. Don't know their names, but y'all fan base have came after me, and I have blocked them. And what I have not done is taken what they said about me and attacked y'all and told y'all to check your fans, control your fans, tell them to stop coming after me, tell them to stop saying things about me. I haven't done that. I have just chalked it up with, this is a part of the show, this is a part of what I signed up to be a part of, and it is what it is. She took it on the chin, which I don't understand how nobody else can just take it on the chin. That's with every other fan base of every other reality show. There's tons of people who don't like Kenya, and there's tons of people who don't like Portia, vice versa. But of course, they think that it's a different element because of how involved social media is and how other people are personally involved in Love Marriage Huntsville, that they don't know how to decipher the two, right? But I do think that when Stormy heard that folks didn't like Mel, I don't think she was prepared to hear that. I don't think she even assumed that folks didn't like Mel. I think she just felt like since Melody got so much love from other people, that nobody can see how wrong she can be. Nobody can see how messy she can be. But not really. If you go on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, there's a lot of people who don't like Mel. But majority, Twitter. Twitter is a whole flood. You put hashtag Love Marriage Huntsville, you're going to see a whole lot of people saying, Mel is bitter, Mel is messy, Mel is likes people to be mad like her. It's all that shit. But again, excuse me, Stormy wants to know, where do you stand? How do you feel? And Melody be like, so what have they done? What have you seen folks do? So this is where Stormy brings up the Black Titanic situation. I do think that Stormy added 20 on 10 and lied about certain things, because she mentioned when Miss Black Titanic came to her warehouse trying to get inside, she wasn't trying to get inside, like bombard you. No, she was trying to purchase some products from you, and she barely left the car. She didn't even reach the damn door. You making it seem as if your phone accidentally went on live to catch the moment. No, you went on live to harass and threaten this lady, saying how she got you on the phone cussing and crying, and then got the footage, put a warrant for your arrest, and guess what? Harassing communications. If anybody watched my trailer video for what's going to occur for the rest of this season, I said it. I said Stormy is going to set up her arrest and make light of it and dismiss what Melody had to endure with Martell when she filed a warrant for his arrest. Because he was actually convicted and found guilty of harassing communications and DV. You, my dear, were found guilty for going on live threatening an elderly lady. You can't get mad that your live that you did not accidentally go on, you went on to pretty much make it seem as if this woman is coming at you crazy when she didn't even come at you crazy. You came at her crazy. Courtney was already trying to de-escalate the situation. You had to come out and make it worse. So what else you supposed to do? Not take the footage you put out there for the public to see how you was cussing and fussing and threatening this old lady? And you didn't start crying until you got your ass back in the warehouse. It was a good 2 to 3 minutes. You was outside cussing without taking a breath. Okay? So you, my dear, have to take accountability for that. So wanting to know, where does Melody stand after hearing that? Melody was stone-faced. She didn't care anything about it, because why should I care about what happened to you? Nobody has cared about what's happened to me. Nobody has had no emotional empathy for what I've been going through. So the fact that Destiny want to call out Melody's behavior, how you just heard somebody that said your proclaimed fan did this and get her arrested and you ain't got nothing to say? You have no emotion behind it? Wow. No, no, wow, Destiny. It is what it is. Because all y'all have been stone-faced, no emotional empathy, no support, no compassion for nothing Melody has been going through. Where do you stand in regards to Revenge P, Destiny? Where do you stand, Stormy, with your mom being a fucking troll all over Facebook? Where do you stand, Tisha, when your mom has been on lives week after week after week talking about Mel? Even if Mel have never said nothing about Wanda in weeks, Miss Wanda still finds ways of mentioning Mel. Where do y'all stand in this shit? Like, come on, if we're going to put it out on the table, let's put it all out on the table. Let's do it, okay? Let's do it. So hearing this, Melody is quiet. She ain't got nothing to say. I know Melody was hurt. And also, why didn't y'all show that scene where Melody walked out? Because this was a lot for her to deal with. Because if I ain't got shit to say about what happened to you, then let's talk about what has happened to me that nobody has said anything about. I wish that Melody would have flipped the conversation and asked Stormy, so where do you stand in regards to him putting out these crazy emotions against me? Hey, Destiny, where do you stand with him and his whore trying to put a negative narrative out that I'm having an inappropriate relationship with my married security guard? Where do you stand in that? Come on now. Let's do it. Let's have a conversation. Let's go. But she was quiet, which I'm not mad at. I'm very happy that Melody didn't say anything, because I feel like if she would have said anything in regards to what Stormy wanted her to say, it would have been used against her later on. Anything she would have said. So Shanita speaks for Mel and says, y'all feel like this isn't even a hard question to ask. Y'all know it's pretty much self-explanatory. She does not want any of this. But what grown people decide to do is what grown people decide to do. You can't control grown people, right, Wanda? Right, Betty? Right, Tisha? Right, Stormy? Right, Destiny? You can't control grown people, right? So I wasn't mad for her speaking up for Melody, because Melody needed a friend in that moment, because nobody else was on Mel's side except for Sunny, Lauren, and Shanita, right? And Stormy just wanted to hear from Mel, but Mel said, I have nothing to say to you. I have nothing to say. Stormy said, okay, say less. Melody said, it's been less. Now what's up? Now what's up? Kimmy, I don't want to hear shit what you have to say. You can just stay quiet. Melody was in a confessional talking about, you only get arrested if you done something that got you arrested. So the fact that I'm sitting here with a group of people who are supposedly multimillionaires that have had successful businesses, but don't know how to run a business, don't know how to handle business, I will never allow myself to get out of character, to come back to someone who can find footage of me getting out of character and file a police charge against me. My stance would have been, hello 911, yeah, there's someone on my premises and I don't want them here. Can you please have them removed? That's the energy I would have had. So you're telling me to tell a fan to stop doing something is giving delusional. And I agree with Mel. Now, I know a lot of people were questioning Melody's integrity and morals when she said, if you've done something to get arrested, I ain't got nothing to say, because that's the truth. It's not talking about people who get arrested off of assumption. We're not talking about profiling black people. We're not talking about that. Just like Destiny have done something to get arrested, she had turned herself in. Martell did something to get arrested. He was ducking and dodging his warrant, but he had to go through it. Stormy, you had to turn yourself in as well. And also, let's put this out, Stormy. Already putting it out there. She quit the show right after this trip. And she also posted a long post talking about how the case was dismissed. You see the outfit that Stormy wore when she was turning herself in. She filmed herself sitting on a bench in handcuffs with her phone to flex on me. I'm actually gotten arrested, but hello, God got me. It's been dismissed. For me, Stormy, that's not a flex to me. I feel like that's setting up for sympathy, because nobody that was supposed to turn themselves in keeps their phone. Nobody. You supposed to have been stripped of everything. Stripped of your makeup, your lashes, your phones, all your jewelry. You supposed to be bare. But you didn't experience that. But you expect people to give sympathy for you posting on a bench that supposedly had been a police station? That wasn't a cell. Hell, that's probably a lobby somewhere. Like, the whole thing was set up to me. It didn't seem real. So I don't have time for this. At the end of the day, Stormy, hold yourself accountable for how you behaved in that moment. About let's blame Mel, let's blame Mel. But nobody wants to hold themselves accountable for what led to this moment. Nobody does. So we're going to move on from there. Now we have Tisha, who just loved living up to her name by being an eye. Don't know how to read the fucking room. It's already tense. Then she brings up the Trish and Martell situation. Now, Martell sent Trish a DM under the guise of working out, right? She said, cool, we'll work out. At the time, she said she was training both men and women. Don't give a shit. And she said that she didn't go to his house, but she admitted that she did go to his house. Because that scene where her, Destiny, and Stormy were at the gym, Stormy mentions that Martell told her you came by the house a couple times. She said, no, I did not go. So now you lied and said you did go. Sonny asked her, so you lied to protect what it could seem like because you did not want it to be read as it was on some Netflix and chill type of situation. She said, I left that part out for a reason. For what though? Why would you leave that part out? If nothing happened between you and Martell, why couldn't you say, you know what? It was only meant to be a workout. Turns out we never worked out. We just hung out, but nothing else happened. But what I don't like is how people can't see how Melody is just tired. She's exhausted. She's annoyed and hurt by this information. And it's just crazy. Like, this is throwing salt on the wound, Kimmy, as you try to say Sonny and Moses are doing the Destiny. This is throwing salt. Why do y'all keep on trying to place Mel in a situation where she has to be reminded of a time that Martell might have messed around with other women when they were married, as if Melody didn't already know that? Okay? And Stormy wanted to call Trish out for lying because when I asked you, it wasn't true. So now you're telling me it is true. Why couldn't you tell me that it wasn't what it was? But I don't even think she wanted to trust you in that moment, Stormy. And I don't even think you're trying to be a real friend in this moment. You really are pretending as if you didn't know. You're pretending as if you didn't see how this would have worked. I do believe you set Trish up for failure in this moment. I really do. And now, where the fuck are you going off about how Martell is fine? Go away now. Go the fuck away. Please go away. Now, Trish is getting questioned, and she don't like getting questioned. But hey, it is what it is. You threw yourself out there to have a ball of confusion, and you want to pass judgment on Sonny and her situation, but it's not the same thing. Because I feel like you've been offended ever since Martell said he didn't know you, he didn't remember you. At that point, who gives a shit? But if you really are trying to be offended that Martell didn't remember you, that meant it wasn't just working out. You wanted him to like you. You wanted him to see what he can do, right? But she said nothing happened. No sexual relations. He never tried to flirt with her, regardless of his image. I don't give a shit. I don't care. You and your squeaky voice, your glue eyes, your constantly glued eyes, because you never open them. I don't care about the fact that you were mad about the way it came off. At the end of the day, you should have just ended it for what it was. You should just say, you know what? It might be weird, but nothing happened. And it was so long ago, I don't give a shit. But I don't care. I do think that Trish is lying. I think something did happen. Maybe it wasn't a great experience that she doesn't want to admit, because it was probably around the time that she was still, and is, still married to Marquez, but was feeling vulnerable and messed around with Martell at the time when he wasn't with Mel, per courtesy of him telling her he wasn't with Mel, but knowing that he probably was. Maybe around the time he was going back and forth with Ariane. Who knows, right? I don't give a shit. But Melly talks about it's been enough time for folks to question, and I honestly have no feelings about it whatsoever. I'm going to move on from it. Destiny still wants to claim that she knows Melly like the back of her hand by saying the Melly that I know or that I knew, she would have felt some type of way about receiving this information. But maybe she has evolved. Who knows? Destiny, shut up. Shut up. I'm tired of you thinking that you know Mel. You don't know Mel the way you think you know Mel. You don't know her, okay? Hell, all the rest of these ladies didn't care about her feelings, especially Tisha. She just had to repeat the story more than once. She just had to do it. Because, Tisha, you wanted to find a moment to embarrass Melody. Because you're always trying to have Melody be embarrassed with what Martell had going on at the time that he was with her, when he was messing around with other women. You always are looking for ways of putting Mel in this type of situation. Tisha is not to be trusted. Point blank, period. So, Melody was like, I just want to keep the energy going by enjoying this island. We have another day and a half. I have something special planned for us. Because like I said, we've all worked hard and we deserve this. I want us to enjoy the experience and let's have a good night. I know in the end, a lot of people were disappointed, especially Tisha. I feel like Tisha expected for Melody to react in a different moment, but you didn't get the reaction. Just like Stormy didn't get her reaction after questioning Mel where she stands with her fans, you're not getting the reaction of where do Melody feel about being reminded of what Martell might have been doing. Okay? Um the next day, we see Destiny and Kimmy. They're out on the patio while Trish and Stormy are dropping their bags up by the front door because they're both leaving very early. Hell, it probably been like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Because Stormy's reason is Chess got his first T-ball game. She don't want to miss it. Trish's daughter's in a dance competition. It's her last dance competition. She says she might miss it, but still wants to leave. Then why even come on this trip? Y'all had y'all schedule made ahead of time in regards to being available for this trip. Why all of a sudden, on the last day, after a very heated, intense conversation, y'all decide to say, oh, we have last minute events we just can't miss? I mean, listen, I'm a parent myself. I would never want to miss anything that my children are participating in, but I do believe that it's an excuse that y'all don't know how to deal with the uncontrollable energy of a heated conversation, which I find kind of a cop out to me. Melody has had heated conversations with Destiny and has still been enjoying this island. Sunny has had multiple heated conversations with everybody and has still enjoyed this island. But when it comes to you, you, Stormy, and you, Trish, y'all have one heated conversation that y'all wanted to have. Well, besides Trish, she was, pushed into it. Y'all can't handle it. All right. Okay, sure. Fine. Bye. Good riddance. So Melody sees Tisha and Kimmy out in the water. They have small conversations. They're telling Melody she did a good job on planning this trip, okay? But knowing that Destiny was going to be an added person, they wanted to test the temperature to see if anything was to come out between them, if they would have had a good time, not have a good time. Melody stayed in the beginning. I don't have any issues with Destiny. I don't, okay? But I do think that we could have had a good time. I know there were tense conversations, and Tisha felt like once they had a conversation, everything's going to be good. But Melody pointed out, okay, yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable at first, but I don't have no issues with her. But it did make me feel weird that you were so adamant to call me out about something, and yet you want to try to sit next to me, which is weird. How are you so concerned with calling her out and checking her, calling her a hypocrite, but yet you look for ways to still be, you still look for ways of trying to be next to her? That's weird. So they called out how Melody was quiet the night before, and Tisha's being fake by saying, I wasn't sure if you were comfortable with everything because you didn't say much. She said, I don't really wanted to say much because from what I heard last night, it confirmed what I was thinking this entire time. And I was thinking that when it came to Stormy and her denial about everything and her delusions, it said everything I needed to know, which means Melody was already not fully trusting Stormy anyway. And it was just something on her finger she just cannot point out about why Stormy is the type of person that she can never really trust, and that solidified it for her. So God pretty much told me to be quiet and just accept what they are and move forward. And that is what it is. So now that she sees Stormy for who she is, she don't trust her. She don't feel like she can do anything with her and for her. Kimmy mentioned how Stormy and Trish left early that morning, and Melody is unaware of it because they didn't even tell her that they were leaving. They didn't even say goodbye. And it's like, it's so rude to Trish. I'm the one that invited you. I'm the one that welcomes you, and I had no issues with you. So Kimmy knew that it would have been uncomfortable for Melody to witness that conversation about her and Martell. And she told Tisha not to bring it up because they didn't know much about the information anyway because of how it was presented, okay? And Tisha, I don't care about your reasoning. You wanted to say, we didn't know the timeline. We didn't know how everything was put out. It was just a lot of confusion that we wanted to understand, right? And no, it didn't matter what you wanted, Tisha. You just wanted to have information to embarrass Melody, point blank, period. And Melody was like, hey, he a hoe. We all know he's a hoe. That's why he's divorced. What's new? So I can honestly care less about it. It doesn't do anything for me. And they just wanted to have an understanding and wanted to get it cleared. But Melody asked them, so was it because y'all just wanted to figure out what was up, or was y'all doing it to defend me? because you guys didn't know much about it. I think it was to see how much they can know and see how much it can be revealed, so that way you could be present for what was revealed. It was a give back, but I don't see why. It was to embarrass you. It was for a moment. That's what it was. But Melody says, see, when it comes to Trish, I feel like she lying. Okay, because how we were introduced to her, there's a whole lot of holes in her story. She says she's married, then she says she was separated. Oh, but there's no paperwork. I've been separated for 5 years, but I'm also about to be engaged with my man who's I've only been with for 2 years. And it's a possibility I might have had an emotional affair with him at the time I was still with my husband, but he never left the house before I did this. Like, you see how I'm all over the place? It's a twister. Trisha's story was a twister of confusion, okay? And Melody calls the double standards. How are y'all not looking at Trish sideways? How she's a whole married woman getting involved with another man and she's never gotten divorced from her husband. And y'all throwing stones at Sonny for getting involved with a single man who had an on and off situation with Destiny that she never got married to, she was never engaged to, she never had any children with. They lived in separate states. Like, come on now. I do agree. The double standards is crazy right here. And that's why she called out Trish the first night, because Trish was making faces towards Sonny. And that's why she wondered why she doesn't like Sonny. It's because of Destiny. But it's like Shanita had a point to say you throwing stones at the glass house. Her getting involved with another man that was single is different than you, my dear, juggling two men while being a married woman. So hell yeah. Double standards for me. But Melody said, I have experienced type of people that I don't need in my life. And the people who I don't need in my life have left. So now everything is perfect. On their last day of paradise, Melody invited them on a catamaran, a very luxurious boat. The ladies all look beautiful. The boat's fabulous, the ocean waters. And finding out that Stormy and Trish never said goodbye is disheartening, because it's common courtesy that you leave by saying goodbye. You say hello when entering in a room. The fact that you did not operate in common courtesy is a bit rude to me. But hey, you learn a thing or two about how other people act. And for, Trish to feel like I did something wrong when you couldn't say you want to leave, it's not on me, it's on you. But if you want to be disrespectful, then don't come to my house. And like for Stormy to not say nothing, I think that Melody wouldn't have a problem with. But for Trish to only follow behind Stormy because her and Stormy are friends, and maybe she felt like she didn't have nobody else to, talk to or have an ally with, she followed behind Stormy and kept that same energy. Fine, good riddance. And she had said, I have not treated Trish any type of way. I've been doing my best trying to welcome her into this group. But hey, if you want to have an issue with me because of Stormy, cool. Then we ain't got nothing else to do. We don't have to move forward in any other type of way. It is what it is. And Shanita, pretty much said she trying to turn me off when she mentioned going over Martell's house. I don't want nothing to do with her because she's been associated with him. And her explaining her demeanor was like, listen, if you're going to speak your truth, you speak your truth. And when you're speaking your truth, you're calm, you're collected, you're not going around in circles. And that's exactly what Trish did. She went all over in circles, talking about she trained men, she trained women. Who gives a shit? You asking for clarity, but for someone who doesn't know how to give clarity, you get confusion. I ain't mad that Shanita called out Trish. I ain't mad at all, because she's been all over the place since she came on this show. Everything has been a twister, ma'am. You're married, but you're separated. You're getting engaged, but you're not getting a divorce. You don't want to get a divorce. Then this whole DM situation, it's like too much. And Shanita believes, allegedly, that she gave that hot pocket to Martell. I agree. I agree and believe it. I really do. Then you got Tisha, Destiny, and Kimmy all feeling sad for Trish. What you feeling sad for her for? Kimmy's talking about Trish was blindsided. What do you mean? Y'all were questioning her the first time y'all met her. She wasn't blindsided. Even if it was a big group, small group, nobody would have understood Trish's story because she doesn't come out with clear details. It's all confusion. Saying how this is a hard first season for her, because she made it hard for her first season. She came on the show lying. That's the problem. Fuck out of here. So Nell ends up calling out to Destiny how she's spoken to Lucky. Lucky is Nell's oldest son, Lance. And it's the truth. Destiny and Lance have been spending time with one another. But in the beginning, when it was discovered they were together, Nell wasn't on board with it. But she likes Destiny, so she has allowed it. But hopeful that it's not a serious situation because Lance just got out of his marriage, but I don't know if it's a divorce or he's going through the motions. But believing that it's just fun, it's just casual, I wouldn't trust it. I would not have allowed for Destiny to date my eldest children. I would have told her to go find another son to play with or go find another man to play with. Don't play with mine. Because knowing Destiny's history and her behavior and her track record, I wouldn't trust it. But, Destiny, she likes to attach herself to a man who exudes that aggressive street mentality. And I think that Lance exudes that energy and she's attracted to that. But Melody ends up asking Tisha have her daughters called her. She said they have. Her oldest daughter wants her to send her some pictures because her daughter wants to be an interior designer, which is cute and sweet. Then Nell follows behind and asks Sonny, do she have any children? Pause. Y'all remember when they first arrived on the island? Sonny and Stormy were having a conversation about IVF, and Sonny revealed that her first stage of IVF failed, so she's going through her second round. Nell set that up so Destiny can have something to say about it. She already knew, but she wanted to set it up for Destiny to have something to say. And I don't give a fuck how Destiny feels. First of all, that's a normal question to ask a woman. It's not invading, it's not offensive, but to make it seem as if Destiny was meant to hurt you was bullshit to me. This is not your man anymore. You don't have no right to claim what you had with him because you're not with him anymore, okay? You've made your decision to not have children by him. So whatever Sonny and Moses do, that's their life, not yours. Saying how it's painful, she said. Painful. Sonny believes this is awkward because I'm not trying to rub this in Destiny's face, but I'm not going to have her take away my moment of what I've been going through. I've been trying to have children with my husband, and it's been difficult. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, Jess needs to get out of her feelings and accept that this is Sonny's life. She's married to Moses. You can't keep on trying to attach what she's going through is what you're going through. No, even if you had the possibility of being pregnant by Moses, you made sure it didn't happen. Claims she's trying to move forward, but she keeps on using the words betrayed, and now, she's talking about having children with my ex because my ex wanted to have kids with me. It is not bragging. It's not a flex that the man you say wasn't man enough for you wanted to have children with you, but you didn't want it. You made sure it never happened. Like, Destiny, go seek real therapy, please. You are always trying to attach yourself to the same situation that other people are in to fit your narrative, and it doesn't fit. What you went with him is way different than what Sonny's going through with him. You can't keep on trying to mirror what someone else is going through is what you went through. Stop it. Live your own life. Stop living your life through other people's experiences to fit what you experience. Stop doing that. Oh, God. So Melody wanted everybody to go around and describe how the trip has been to them. And Melody said the trip has been freeing. Shanita said grateful. Nell said exhausting. Sonny said clarity. Destiny's word was a lot. We finally hear from Lauren. She said a lot as well. And then we got to Tisha. She said growthful and maturity. I was in heaven listening to Mel talk about, wonder where she looked that word up. Luckily, that is an actual word. Growthful is a word in the dictionary. Because we all know she don't be hearing these types of words around people, especially her mama. Her mama's hooked on phonics. She never gives proper words in proper English, proper terms. She never has actual words of encouragement. So, hell yeah. I found it funny, even though, yes, Tisha is a woman of multiple degrees, but Tisha still has an ignorant mindset and an ignorant vocabulary just like her mother. So, hey, it is what it is. So the idea was for everyone to write at the bottom of the invitation, in the bottle, toss it in the ocean so it can send off that positive energy. Sunny gave props to Mel of how she hosted a fabulous trip. And Mel said in the end, this is what I'm describing my new journey in life, by being free. And I am feeling very free. So thank God this part is finally over. Pretty much at the tail end of everything, we get the fellas. So the fellas had to have a scene. They went to archery, and it was Maurice's idea to bring all the guys together. Moses, Martell, and Chris have a sidebar conversation because Martell wants to know, has Sonny and Moses made a decision about finding a house? Moses pretty much denied Martell's house by saying it's too small. It might be an investment. They want to have a bigger house when they was to move out here, have someone they feel comfortable living in. Martell is, talking about his credentials. He can build them another house, but yet he still wants to say in the confessional he values his friendship with Destiny, and that if he is not supposed to work with them, he ain't gonna work with them. Sure. But he was also being messy in this moment, talking about he had a conversation with Destiny to see what was going on between them because he wants to be supportive of Destiny, and he heard that they were going to have a conversation to bring some closure and all this and that. But he decides to ask Moses, do he still love her? Being messy, right? He said, no, I have love for her. You know what I'm saying? As a friend, of course. How Destiny still loves him, it's obvious. She still loves this man. She showed more emotions for this man than she did her own ex-husband. And he said, I've known her for a long time. I've known her for about 15, 16 years. Martell said that's a friendship that should have never been broken. Well, a lot of things have occurred that led to the friendship being broken. And he took accountability and responsibility for not reaching out to her, letting her know that where they're at in their relationship is not working. Their relationship has fizzled out. It's not how it used to be. And since we weren't seeing each other that often, that's how it lets us not being together. Martell assumed it's been about a week or a month since they've seen each other that led to this conclusion. No, Moses says it's been about 8-9 months. So the fact that they weren't on a consistent basis of being in a relationship, I would have agreed as well. We ain't moving nowhere. So, hey, it is what it is, right? So, this is the part where people were questioning Moses about how he feels about Sonny, because Moses is a man that doesn't say a lot. He's a man of a very few words. He's a laid back dude that don't really say much. But I do believe that since Moses is a fish out of water in this type of setting, reality setting, he really didn't know how to answer certain questions. And Martell knew what to say to get a reaction out of him. Because Chris was talking about y'all in a throuple couple type of situation, and he said, hell no, my wife is my wife. She not going for that. But we all know who the side chick gonna be. And that's when Martell said, I ain't got nothing to say to that. But that's what everybody was pretty much questioning Moses for. Martell brought up Destiny to get a reaction out of Moses. Chris brought up Destiny to get a reaction out of Moses. And the fact that he said, we all know who the side chick gonna be, it's just pretty much giving the evidence of Destiny is willing to be someone else's side choice. She's willing to be someone else's second option. Hell, it's the truth, right? It is what it is. Like the way y'all view friendships is toxic and weird to me. So now all the men are discussing what they've heard on the trip, especially Maurice. He's been informed of all the mess that occurred. And Maurice pointed out that Moses has 2 of his women together. He said, no, I got my wife there, okay? Because Sonny didn't know that Destiny was coming because she was invited by Melody without knowing Destiny was coming. And, Sonny confided in him that there were a lot of women coming after her. And he called out Ken. Your woman came after my wife. Now, he did call Trish his wife, but Trish isn't his wife. But at the same point in time, Trish was going hard on Sonny for no reason. And Marceau being messy, talking about the trainer situation between him and Trish. Martell was like, man, she never trained me. Ain't a woman ever trained me. And this is the thing. I believe Martell when he said no woman has ever trained me, because y'all see how Martell be in the gym. He don't need no help. That means he had other intentions of reaching out to Trish in the DMs, right? So just wondering when the timeline happened, Marceau trying to get in the mess. And so Martell pretty much admitted there was a DM situation, and it was like around 4 or 5 years ago. And Ken said it was before him, but Ken was about to explain the situation, and Martell cut him off and say, listen. When it comes to sliding DM, trust me, I be looking at women I be wanting to fuck, and I will admit I wanted to smash at that time because she looked good in her photos. But when I met her, she wasn't as good as she looked. But she hung out. I think she had someone, but nothing happened. It is what it is. I would have been looking at Martell sideways if he ever was to say, my woman wasn't looking good at that time when you first met her, but she was looking good enough for you to reach out to her in the DMs. I can't believe you. But Martell pretty much admitted this is what he do. He trolls the internet, finds women he wants to fuck, he wants to smash. If they with it, they with it. And if they don't, they don't. So Trish was with it. Like, how long did y'all talk in the DM in order for you to say, okay, I'll come to your house for a workout session? That never happened. Man, I can't tell. Woo. And so, you know, Ken is telling his side, but Marceau said we only have one eyewitness who was there when it happened, and I gotta believe Martell. So obviously nothing happened, right? But it wasn't around the time that they were together. It was way long before. But obviously it was definitely around the time that he was still with Mel and maybe other women. And she was just, you know, one of his options. Okay. So he said, listen, it's all before me. It was before me. This is my woman now. It is what it is. And the one thing he didn't really find, the one thing he found a problem with was her not telling him what the situation was, her not being honest about it. And I did agree with Kim because if she had told me what happened, I wouldn't have felt no way about it because this was before me. I ain't got no issues with it, but don't have me be in a situation where I get embarrassed. I get humiliated because of something that someone else might know and I don't know. And Courtney, I forgot he was there. Because hearing the guys rattle Ken of what occurred, what might occur between her and Martell, Kim must really love Trish to be dealing with this. But he a good dude. Let's hope they can get back together and move forward. So Courtney leaves, and Marceau mentions he had a conversation with Marquez. Around the time that both Ken and Trish got together, Marquez felt the way about another man coming to his family. But Marceau called Marquez out by saying, when you say you left your wife, you left your children. He said, I didn't leave, but you did leave. And you left at a crucial time. So when another man came in and pretty much filled that hole that you left, you can't get mad at him for coming in and taking over your spot when you gave him your spot. So you come in and say, thank you, I appreciate it. And, you know, Kim been like, you know what? Yeah, before I came into the picture, you know, he didn't want her. But he wanted to make sure that nobody else wanted her. What's his name? Oh, Ken. See, Ken, he ends up admitting how much patience he has about being with Trish because he's been in a situation where he got involved with a married woman before. I was like, it makes so much sense of having to go through the hurdles, going through all of the questioning and all going through the timeline and how to be patient for everything. He knows how to play his part by getting involved with a married woman who's going through issues with her current husband and he's waiting for things to work out. It makes so much sense. I will give Martell this. Ken has become a professional side dude, but what Martell was doing around this entire moment, he always is trying to play somebody out to be involved in having side pieces because Martell wants someone to be on his level so that way he's not the only one that has dealt with having a side piece that ruined his marriage. That's been Martell's go-to. He always wants somebody to even out his fault, even out his mistakes. So that's why he's getting a kick out of Ken being a side dude. So that way he don't look as bad as he was. But Martell, I said it before, you will never escape the part that you played by having a mistress that ruins your family. I will always say that. Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of it, okay? Because Maurice even asked Ken in the end, what's the holdup? Why is she still married? Why hasn't she said, I'm ready for this to be over so I can be with you? Why? And that was the end of the episode because it is a question. How are you content with just saying a side dude while this woman is dragging her feet, avoiding getting a divorce? Now, the divorce papers have been filed, but they have not been signed. I hope I got everything right because this was such a lot. I hope I did everything in an equally proper fashion of getting all this out, but I don't have nothing else for this. I don't. It's just so weird to me. How do you have so much patience by being a side piece? Like, what promises has she made to you? Ugh. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm see you guys later. Bye.